Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Disjunct Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
What's up?
Ladies and gentlemen, I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific comer himself, Zealeus.
And do you know why this is a glorious Thursday, good sir?
Because it's a Thursday.
And because the Hawks decided to have the most epic of comebacks last night against the 76ers, where they epically collapsed.
Mwahaha. The second largest comeback in NBA NBA playoff history.
I mean, just because your, starting point guard can't actually shoot the ball shouldn't matter, right?
I mean, free throws. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, you can check your box. Do you see Rose's tail at any point during the show? We've already checked that box, okay?
I was saying we just start having like Alt Confusion bingo.
I know. Absolutely. Let's do it. We'll see here. Rose's Rose tail, okay?
Charlie opens up a Funko Pop.
Charlie talks about a Funko Pop. No, okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, this, of course, is the Thursday Night Hangout. There's a show. It's a weekly show where we try our best to cover the topics that are most important to you. And we'll if you haven't if you haven't submitted a topic yet, by all means, drop it in the chat. We'll try to add it to the show. And if we unfortunately run out of time, we will then add it to the next show. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be kind of easy. I think, maybe, possibly. Ladies and gentlemen, Nintendo decided to go ahead and give their E3 lineup, and holy ballsack.
There's some games.
And like some big games.
Yes.
I mean, I'm talking about the first 2D Metroid game in 19 years. It's called Metroid Dread. It takes place after the dramatic events of the Metroid Fusion game, which is the handheld one. The intergalactic bounty hunter, Samus Aran, must use a combo of new and classic moves to explore, survive, and fight her way through a new adventure.
Is this like Dread, like Judge Dredd, Metroid
Yep.
Dread, or like a different Dread? Like she's now Judge Dredd in the form of Metroid. That'd be kind of cool.
You would, but I don't think that's...
She's got a big mask on. It's kind of the same thing.
You know, it took me years to figure out that it was a chick under that armor.
I only knew because of the cheat code of Samus Bailey.
Yep. So anyways, you have a brand new 2D Metroid game, which is, when you look back in the history of video games, there are two, like action platformer game, 2D action platformer games that stand out, have basically created its own genre, and that is Metroid and Castlevania. And so to get a true Metroid game into the mix, looks like...
What about Contra?
Yes.
I would put Contra upper with the 2D platformers.
Oh, no, absolutely. But you don't go Metroidvania. That's what I'm saying. Sure. You put...
Yeah, I mean, Metroid and Castlevania are still around, whereas it doesn't seem like there's been a whole lot of, oh my gosh, Contra. Yeah.
Well, I feel like Contra was more suited for like the arcade.
I can see that.
Because, I mean, it's the same with like Metal Slug.
Because there's kind of like quick stages, kind of like to the point. Whereas, like with Castlevania or Metroid, you had to like figure out where the stages were. Like,
there's a map. You could actually do some stuff out of order.
Well, I don't think you'd want to probably play Metroid in an arcade.
No, God, no. No.
That would be a lot of quarters.
Well, you would also have to have like, one of those fun little codes so that you could pick it up later. Be like, oh, it's Samus helmet, Mother Brain, Metroid.
Well, I mean, they exist. That's how the cheat codes work for the game.
Right.
Remember, that's really dating yourself when you remember that's how you pick up your game on the next save. It wasn't because it saved, it's because there were certain codes that would get you to that correct point in the game of where you were at.
Yeah, man. I used to have, I don't have it anymore, but I used to have this piece of paper that had the code for the last level of Bubble Bobble. Just because I would try to play and I'd get pretty far, but then I would just literally, I'd hit a wall and be like, F it. And I'd just take that piece of paper out and just jump to the end and still get my ass whooped.
Nice.
Yeah. So another game that Nintendo has revealed is a sequel to a game that was very different, but got a little bit of attention, and that is the Mario Rabbids game, which is, it's like, the best way I could describe it is if you were to take XCOM, but then switch out all like the military alien units and put in Mario characters and Rabbid characters. Rabbid, of course, is from the characters from the game, the game series Rayman.
Okay.
They're like ridiculous, goofy looking rabbits. But anyways, there's a sequel, and it's called Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope. The story behind the game: a mysterious entity has plunged the galaxy into chaos, and only an unlikely team of heroes can save the day. To bring order back to the cosmos, Mario and friends team up with the Rabbids and journey to mysterious, ever-surprising planets. You'll need to outwit enemies with a combat system that mixes turn-based tactics and real-time action.
What kind of action?
Real-time action.
Whoa!
I know. So I do have the Mario Rabbids game, and actually one of my sons has played it a couple times too. It's, I mean, you travel to a specific spot, and then it goes like into a battle mode. It's like a battle arena. It's turn-based. You have so many movement points. Of course, you've got to take into effect if your enemy's in cover, out in the open. You could do some fun combos. Which one of them is if an enemy's close enough, you can run. Like, basically, you put your path to run right through them. And so what they'll do is, as you approach the enemy, they will slide into the enemy and pop do minimal damage to the enemy, but still damage to the enemy, and you can keep going. And of course, you have a weapon. The weapon has range, and it's XCOM. If you've ever played XCOM, if you haven't,
sounds like it. Yeah.
I mean, if you've never played XCOM, it's basically your turn-based game. There's an indie game I played like a long ass time ago. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it plays like that. I mean, it's really just it's a military-ish game where you got two teams going up against each other. But the one difference between the Mario Rabbids game and XCOM is if you lose a character during one of the battles, that character could come back. In XCOM, your character dead. I mean, dead. He ain't coming back.
Nothing worse when you lose like your favorite character in battle. It's just
That's why I stopped playing Fire Emblem. Because you're one and done.
Yeah, that's rough.
I can't take this stress.
I put so much love into my character. I just can't lose them.
I put so much time and energy into him. And the real kicker, I don't remember what game it was. I'm pretty sure most games will allow you to do this, but there are certain games out there where it's like, it's a turn-based tactics game. If you lose the character's gone forever. But there are games out there that they take it one step further, and that is anything that's on that character's person is now gone.
Oof.
So, like, I pimped him out with the max stats for my sword and my armor, and I had, like, the super potions, and then apparently they self-combust.
And now I have nothing to show for all of my work, basically.
Exactly. So, once upon a time, there was this crazy idea that Nintendo had that was like, let's do a bunch of crazy mini games, and let's put a theme of an unlikely Nintendo character and see where it goes. And that was how WarioWare was born. And WarioWare is getting a new one. Wario is back with a brand new collection of micro games. Sorry, not mini games, micro games to snack on in WarioWare Get It Together. Coming exclusively to Nintendo Switch September 10th. So one day before my son's birthday.
Birthday present?
Play as Wario and his crew as you survive quick-paced, kind of weird microgames. And for the first time in the series, you can also bring a friend into madness via local or... Wait.
What?
Okay, that's poorly written. It said, bring a friend into madness via local or local wireless play.
Ah, that makes more sense.
It does, but it's like... Whatever. Each playable character has distinct abilities, so please test them all out. So basically, the best way I could describe WarioWare is it really is a micro game. It's really like quick. And you're done. It's like it's kind of like those mini games in Mario Party, but then you cut the duration of the time you'll be spending to about a third of what the Mario Party thing would be, and that's a micro level. And it could be something like there could be a ball. It usually like like ugly looking sprite graphics, but it'd be like a ball coming down, and it's like a 2D thing, and you've got your little character running around the bottom, and basically what you're trying to do is trying to figure out where the ball's going to hit so you don't get smashed by the ball.
Yeah, I don't like getting smashed by the ball either.
There's another one where you have to control an umbrella to keep you dry.
You
There's...
dry.
Huh?
You got to stay dry.
Yeah, there's another one where you got to... something's about to blow up, so you got to jump at the right time, otherwise you'll die. I mean, it's really weird stuff.
Just those kind of games, yeah.
So anyways, a new Wario game is coming out. I don't remember the... WarioWare has been on most platforms, so I have it for the Wii. And with that one, of course, you got the motion controls. So you had to wait. So you held your Wiimote, and you had to wait to the very last moment to plunge the detonator for the dynamite.
We should still be able to do that with the Joy-Cons.
You could. You could, but I'd rather not try to accidentally throw something at the floor.
That's what the straps were for, man.
Yeah, the straps. You have to actually put them on.
I usually put them on because, you know me, it would totally be released from my hand and break a TV.
No, I'm just saying that I don't know where my straps are right now because my controllers are on the system, or the Joy-Cons are on the system.
Oh, for the Joy-Con? Oh. Yeah, my Joy-Cons, I have no idea. That's
exactly.
Because, yeah, you're right. Mine are attached to my system also. Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways, but speaking of party games, Mario Party Superstars is coming. Mario Party Superstars allows you and your friends to compete in 5 classic boards from back in the day, the Nintendo 64 era to be exact. Dozens of mini-games from the Mario Party series catalog are also returning, offering fun for longtime fans and new ones alike. All mini-games are played with button controls, and all game modes work online for some long-distance partying. So here's the thing. I have... There's already a Mario Party game out for the Switch. And I got thoroughly pissed because... I thought, I've got 3 controllers, and then I've also got the 2 Joy-Cons.
Mm-hmm.
The Mario Party game that's out right now on the Switch only allows you to play with the Joy-Cons.
Ah.
So here I am thinking, I got myself, a family party game, and only 2 of us could play.
That's annoying.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, we're a family of 4. I've got, basically, I've got the little holder to put the Joy-Cons in, so that's a controller, plus these other 3. That should be 4. Nope, and it's only 1 Joy-Con per person.
So you can't use the actual, pro game controller?
Huh?
You can't use the gamepad?
Nope.
Wow, that's terrible.
Yeah, believe me, I know.
Yeah.
Because basically you have to register in.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't even recognize the controller. It only recognizes the Joy-Con. Yeah. So anyways, hopefully Mario Party Superstars will actually take in that. I understand that they want you to be moving around and whatnot, but there's a gyroscope in the controller, so it's not like they can't sense movement. Believe me, my sons have been playing a lot of Mario Tennis, and they haven't figured out that you have to rotate the controller to aim this power shot into the court instead of into the stands.
I don't think any of the games I've actually played with the Pro Controller use the gyroscope.
Did you play any Zelda games?
I have not.
Okay, so Zelda is definitely, especially the Hyrule Warriors.
I do have Breath of the Wild. I just got recently on sale on the cartridge version, so I do need to play that.
Yeah, well, that's gonna have the hell we just talk about.
The gyro on the
Pro it's gonna have that where when you're holding your arrow, you can basically rotate your controller, and it will just Anyways, so a new Mario Party game. Now here's the one that, of course, everyone's going, holy crap! I just paid a little, and that is,
oh dear,
another Pokemon game. This one's called Pokemon Unite. Pokemon's first strategic team battle game, Pokemon Unite, will release this July 2021 on Nintendo Switch systems and this September on mobile devices.
Oh,
Pokemon Unite will be. I love this new phrase that they've coined. Will be free to start with optional in-game purchases available. Cross-platform play between Nintendo Switch and mobile devices is planned, which will allow players on both platforms to battle together. Additionally, players may use their Pokemon Trainer Club account or Nintendo account on both Nintendo Switch and mobile to easily keep their progress synced between devices.
Fancy.
That last part, I wish like every single freaking game that is on multi-platforms would follow cross-platform play.
I
mean, like, I understand if you're trying to do, I understand that some people don't want to do like cross-platform if it goes from like PC to console, fine, or if it goes PC to mobile, or console to mobile. But if it's on a bunch of different consoles, it also depends on the game. I mean, there's
for the most part Pokemon I'm fine with. I would think.
It wasn't too long ago that the only way that you could play Pokemon was on a handheld, the
Sure.
DS or the 3DS. But now, you can play some sort of Pokemon on your phone or your mobile device, a tablet, and of course the Switch. So, I mean, they've already put that stuff out there, but it's just really refreshing to not only do you have cross-platform play, but you have the ability to sync your progress between devices.
Oh, that is nice. Yeah, I agree.
Holy shit balls! I understand. This is what pisses me off about online always. You have to be online to play this game if it's a single player game. However, if you play the same game, which of course has to be online always for whatever console you're on, there's no, you can't link them together.
That is annoying.
There are certain games or certain companies out there that I will buy their game onto basically every single platform. But there's also those games that I end up, playing a bunch on, like, let's say the PC. But then I start playing on the Switch. I'm like, holy shit, it feels so much better on the Switch. I can't transfer it over. I have to start from scratch. It would be amazing to be able to be like, okay, sync it.
But just think, you're getting that great game experience again. Double the awesomeness.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm trying.
All right, so there's a couple other games that are coming out. Well, there's a new character coming out for Smash Brothers Ultimate. I can't remember what the guy's name is off the top of my head, but he's from another fighting game. Let me see if I can find it. His name is Kazuya, and he is from
Sounds like he just sneezed.
Kazuya. Gesundheit.
Si, senor.
Yeah. I love. This is the new guy. Where is he from? I don't know.
Somewhere. He's around.
Kazuya Tekken. Is the I mean, they've got. Let's see, King of Fighters and Street Fighter. So, yeah, a Tekken fighter fits. I mean, yeah. But there's a bunch of games that have more like Japanese themed games, not Japanese themed games, but games that have really taken off in Japan, but really haven't made the Nintendo progression, I would say. There's Shin Megami Tensei, which I'm trying to remember. Shin Megami, I think they were all on PlayStation when I played it. Fatal Frame.
I recognize that name at least.
Fatal Frame's a messed up like horror game. And Shin Megami Tensei is basically about demons. And it's an RPG. It's basically, well, technically it is Persona, but it's not Persona, but it is Persona.
Is it or isn't it? I'm so confused.
I think there's a crossover between the two. I could be totally wrong, ladies and gentlemen out there, if you want to correct me.
Schrödinger's game. Is it or is it not? It could be either. It could not be either.
And then there's another one called Danganronpa, which I'm sure I just butchered the shit out of that. And that is the popular board game is now in its own standalone game. Play with an all-star lineup of characters from each Danganronpa game to gather hope fragments, defeat bosses, and move on to the next island. It'll be coming out later this year. Fatal Frame will be looks like this one. Fatal Frame. The mysterious Mount Hikami has become the center of many disappearances. Armed with the powerful camera obscura and the ability to see the shadows of those spirited away, you'll defend yourself against fatal ghosts and explore the sinister locales where unspeakable rituals were performed. It's supposed to come out later this year.
I hate more than a fatal ghost.
Dun dun dun. Yeah, I think you see the world basically through you. The only way you could see the spirits is through your camera. So you'll be running around going, "Oh, what's that?" And you're gonna be like, "Camera." Actually, you know what? I think that's one of the specials in Smash Brothers. Is there's like these containers that you could break, and it gives you like a random character or a random thing from a game. Like sometimes it's Knuckles from Sonic, but there's one I swear it's got to be Fatal Frame because there's this. Basically, you see this like eerie camera being pictures being taken. And if you get caught in it, then you take damage.
That's crazy.
Yes. So, I gotta say that looks like Nintendo's already punching everyone in the nuts. That's what it looks like. I mean, another amazing list of games. They've got Life is Strange coming.
You haven't announced the biggest one of them all.
Go for it, Zealeus.
I assume you're saving it for last.
Go for it, Zealeus.
Breath of the Wild, #2, has been announced.
You got to see the video.
Well, no, it's like, yeah, I agree. It's with the full flying and free form, and
like I can't give it justice because you really got to just watch the thing and go, damn it.
We figure how much critically acclaimed people loved Breath of the Wild, I'll call it 1.
Yeah. And
I mean, it's one thing Nintendo does is they don't really create bad games. So you'd expect that Breath of the Wild 2 is, again, going to be super epic awesome.
True.
Right? So if there's a franchise that's going to live up to those expectations, it is kind of Zelda.
I'm trying. I'm now going through my mind here, and I'm trying to think of all the games in the Zelda franchise. I'm trying to think if there was one that I was like, oh god, it's terrible. But I'm gonna have to pull up the list because I can't think. I know that some people had an issue with the Wii version.
Legend of Zelda, Zelda 2, Link of Adventure of Link, The Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening, Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask, Legend of Zelda, Oracle of the Seasons, Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Ages, Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past and Four Swords, Legend of Zelda, Link Walker.
They need to do that again. They need to do another Four Swords. That was amazing.
Let's see here. Legend of Zelda, The Minish Cap? I don't even recognize that one.
Which one?
Legend of Zelda, The Minish Cap?
Oh, yep. Handheld.
I never heard that one.
That's a handheld.
Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess. Legend of Zelda, Phantom Hourglass. The Legend of Zelda, Spirit Tracks.
That was weird.
The Legend of Zelda, Skyward Sword. Legend of Zelda, A Link Between Worlds. Legend of Zelda, The Triforce Heroes. Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. And that's all that's on Wikipedia right now.
Yeah.
And then there's a whole separate list of remakes I won't read.
So let's see here. I want to say.
Of course, then you have the spin-offs, which I'm not going to read either.
Well, there's a lot of people who have a problem. It's not the game; it's the actual graphics of Wind Waker. A lot of people did not like that cell shading. I, of course, fell for the freaking April Fool's joke where back in the day, ladies and gentlemen, there was these things that would come in the mail. It's that box outside your house where a bunch of crap goes. But there used to be these things called magazines. They were physical, like pieces of paper that were all glued together at one side. You could open it up and read. There were words and pictures inside. Trying to remember what the hell the name of the magazine was, but the magazine got me good. There was an April Fool's joke, and I did, of course, this was, it basically said, due to popular demand, a reimagining of the Wind Waker with like some other set of graphics, no cell shading. And so I ran to EB Games. I was like, man, I want to put some money down this. They're like, the hell are you talking about? I said, man, they just announced. They're like, what? I have no idea what you're talking about. And I brought the magazine, and I'm like, look, it's right there. And he goes, dude, release date says April 1st. I was like, you son of a bitch.
Likely story.
But anyways, and of course, Twilight Princess is the game that I had the pre-order receipt on my corkboard to get it on the GameCube, and it took so long that it ended up coming out on the Wii, and I had to, but by the time it was actually going to come out on the Wii, I was no longer going to be in Orlando, so I had to cancel that pre-order and just buy another game.
A rough life of gamers.
Yes. So anyways, Zelda, you can't go wrong. I mean, you can't go wrong. You really can't. I'm looking over the scores that the game's made here. See, yeah, it's fantastic. I got it. There you go. Shit, what was I saying? All the Zelda games are like 90s. The only one that did not get like mid 80s or above was Triforce Heroes.
But it's such a cool name. It's Triforce, man.
Yeah.
Did you play Triforce Heroes?
No, this was on the 3DS.
I
don't think I ever actually picked up any of the. It kind of looks like Legend of the Four Swords, but I don't think it worked just like that. I don't know. Anyways, so, Nintendo's kicking ass, taking names, and ain't nothing anyone could do about it.
Well, the one thing I thought was interesting is
Hmm.
everybody thought that they were basically going to announce the HD Switch,
Yep.
which apparently not.
Not
Um,
yet.
well, this is true. There's still time.
Yeah.
Um, but again, though, if they're going to do the HD Switch for Christmas season,
Hmm.
it actually kind of needs to be announced relatively soon. You think?
But this is Nintendo, and they can literally get away with
They do
whatever.
pretty much however they damn well please. This is a true fact.
Um, I know this is about beginning of the week. There was also a big reveal trailer for The Outer Worlds 2,
Oh yeah.
which I'm like, okay, they've please tell me if they have learned and figure out all the hiccups and bumps that they went through to get The Outer Worlds to where it was, then I'm all in.
I could not get into the Outer Worlds. It didn't.
It's an open world game, Zealeus.
I know, it just didn't do it for me. I tried. I tried.
I mean, look. There's a better chance that Zealeus would be able to get into the Outer Worlds than there would have been Zealeus getting into No Man's Sky.
Oh yeah, I did not even touch No Man's Sky.
You'd be like, so I have to do what?
I have how many quest logs? I have how many things I can do?
I have to pick stuff up? No. I don't have, I've got to do more than just kill things.
Where is my attack button? That's all I care about in life.
Now, of course, about a week ago, there was the EA getting hacked.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
680 gigs of stuff.
Meh, that's a lot of data, man.
It was source code, right? Why is everybody? I mean, what did all the big name companies just decide to put like an sticky note on their folder that holds all their source code? Because this is like what, the second or third time this year that some big company got their source code stolen.
I mean, that's the thing with everything being so online and so ubiquitous is easier than ever. I mean, everything is more available to the web interfaces than ever. So everything is also, it seems like it's much more susceptible to also being taken over, taken down, taken out to the woodshed.
Oh wow. Okay, so part of the source code that they stole was Frostbite. Frostbite is their game engine, which that right there is worth a shit ton of money.
That's probably the one thing they actually like cared about.
Well, it's like, I don't know. I don't think there might be a dev kit for Frostbite. I don't think so, but there are a bunch of different gaming engines that you can have for free, or you pay like a small fee. But Frostbite, I mean, it's not like Crisis level, but still, that shit's got a lot of power under the hood.
I mean, I don't see like an obvious game develop. I'm on their website. I don't see anything obvious about it because they're all EA games. It's like the Madden, Star Wars.
Oh yeah, it's all the internal stuff. I mean, like FIFA. Yeah. Actually, Sam, if he was in the audience right now, would tell us, how amazing the Frostbite engine is for Battlefield.
Yeah, but it's not like Unity or Unreal, where it's meant for other people to develop.
Right. Yeah. It's Frostbite's probably more likely an internal tool.
Yep.
Actually, I'll figure that out right now.
I don't see anything about like not being a externally, but apparently it brings the power of Frostbite to the Nintendo Switch with Plants vs. Zombies.
The game engine was originally employed for Battlefield. To date, this game engine has been exclusive to games published by EA.
They have a lot of job openings for it.
I bet. C++ and C#.
Yeah, I know. I kind of know C sharp. What do you think, man? Should I apply?
I know it's a plus plus or something.
Like, I know C is the third letter in the alphabet. Does that count for anything?
Okay, so question. This is for Zealeus and everyone else out there. If you let's say that you got like this pimpin' ass game engine per se, um, and like a game comes out and it just absolutely sucks balls.
Okay.
Do you really want people to like connect the dots between this amazing system and this suck balls game?
I don't think it really matters, honestly, because I think in the grand scheme of things, people who actually care about the game engine that a game is developed on
Mm-hmm.
is the super minority. Like 0.5% of the actual gaming audience is going to actually give a rat's behind
Mm-hmm.
about the development engine of a game. I mean, now you see games like developed with Unity, developed with, Frostbite, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a cool thing that you can say is that, but I think for the most part, like once you get into the game, nobody's going to actually care what game engine was actually used to create the game.
Unless it's just absolute shit, and you'll be like, man, someone
well,
took the money and ran.
well, if the game is shit, yeah, then it doesn't matter what the engine is. I mean, look at Frostbite, right? You have
Mm-hmm.
some games that we could be like, man, that's a terrible, stupid game. But then some games like
I wonder how much it costs. Well, I mean, it's all for the thing is this is all for games published by EA. So
they got like Battlefront, which is actually a good game, or Mirror's Edge, that like, yeah, those are good games.
right, but I'm just saying that because of the way that it's structured, EA's got to sign off on you. EA's got to become your publisher before you have access to this graphics engine, so you can kind of you can invite them into the walled garden. It's got that door.
I do find it funny though that Anthem is still on their list of Frostbite games.
Yep. Well, there's a game on there that um, that was supposed to come out from BioWare called Shadow Realms.
Oh, I remember that name. Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Oh, you can actually still download Anthem. How exciting!
Yay. And Mass Effect Andromeda was Frostbite. But yeah, I mean, shit. I mean, as a developer, a past developer, and knowing, some of the behind the scenes stuff, to get your hands on the code for a graphics engine, it's like finding gold. I mean, it really is. Because to be honest with you, if you have a shitty graphics engine, no matter how awesome your game is, it's not going to run well.
Well, I guess we'll see what comes of it. I mean, what is going to come of their source code being pilfered? Will anything actually come of that?
I mean, are they holding it ransom like they did for damn it,
more Bitcoin hostages?
Yeah.
With the ransomware, I don't know. Couldn't begin to tell you. Well, that's what happened with the pipeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
EA breach was not a ransomware attack.
It was just a breach.
Somebody just, I guess, muscled their way in. You got to take this stuff seriously, man. Got to protect yourself. Or something.
That's why sysops for security specifically get paid so much money, is to try to prevent stuff like this from happening.
So one person's got to think, how do I get that job? And how do I basically duck out right before this shit hits the fan? Because we are everything that's around us right now. We are a reactive society. We're not proactive. It's not like we're going to make sure everything is super secure. It's like, this is secure enough until it's not. And then we'll try to fix it.
Well, it's also, I mean, you look at companies
Mm-hmm.
and like I think you make a good point though, it's reactive. So it's like if my stuff is not actively being hacked
Mm-hmm.
right now or ransomware, what do I need to pay these 10 security gurus for at $200,000 a person a year? So why am I paying $2 million plus benefits? I mean, that's the conundrum of IT. If
Right.
everything is working perfectly, it's
Then you
like,
don't need
what
them.
am I paying you for, man? You're not doing anything.
Yep.
But we all know, I mean, we work in IT, we see it where, well, okay, let's lay off all but one person, and all of a sudden it all goes to hell because those people were preventing that from happening in the first place or keeping it nice and smooth. And now there's going to be a reaction. We're like, well, it just got hacked. Guess we need to hire 20 people to fix it. Whereas, of course, the irony is in the long run, if they just kept that status quo um, set up from the beginning, you'd probably actually save money in the long run by just doing it all correctly. But you get people come in and they have to save, 2% of your profits for 1 year,
Right.
and end up eating up into it in the long run. So it's always that catch of, we see that all the time, and it's not just IT; it's just in general. You cut costs for that short-term savings to cripple you in the long run.
Yeah. I mean, as for the position that I work, I'm basically my title. If you look me up on LinkedIn, is quality assurance analyst 2. But I'm actually more of like a compliance and accessibility type of person, and it is. I mean it. The vast majority, and I actually just listened to I was listening to a webinar the other day talking about the increase in ADA, that's Americans with Disability Act, the number of ADA lawsuits pertaining to mobile navigation of apps and websites. They're expecting like 4,000 this year, which is humongous. I know it doesn't sound like that big, but we're talking about 4,000 mass lawsuits. So you're talking, there's probably a couple thousand, couple 10,000 people attached to each lawsuit, and you're talking
So they're class
anything,
action lawsuits.
huh?
So they're class action
Yeah,
lawsuits.
we're talking like Winn-Dixie, and basically,
Ooh, Winn-Dixie, man. Now you're throwing out the old school names.
well, I'm just saying as an example because I know that Winn-Dixie, I think it's Winn-Dixie is like in a lot of hot water in.
Is Winn-Dixie still around?
Yeah, just not in the South. It's Publix and no, actually, if you go outside Atlanta, it's not just Publix and Kroger. I mean, you could go to Bilo.
Bilo, wow.
Mm-hmm. I was trying not to date ourselves anymore, okay? Because I was probably like, I went to Bruno's the other day.
You can go to Farmore.
Jesus. Anyways, so yeah, this unfortunately, I mean, remember back a couple years where Sony got hacked not once but twice.
Oh yeah,
and all their customer information was stolen. I mean, I mean, I understand that you're trying to save money, and so if the person's not actively doing stuff, you want to release them, but you got to have a fallback plan. Holy crap! You need to have something set up.
We all know that costs money.
But the problem is that when something happens, it's not an easy fix. It's basically like you have someone build a wall, and then everything's fine. Then one day the wall springs a leak, but you'll really see it until it's gushing water, and then you can't just like put spackle over it and call it a day. You got to rebuild the whole damn thing.
I can't just spackle my IT infrastructure overnight.
Well, what you do is you make everything public, and then you walk away.
And then you just chmod 777 everything, so everyone has access to everything. It makes it very simple.
Mm-hmm. And then you F-disk right at the end, just to piss everyone off. Like, I gave you full access. F-disk.
Is it a pseudo F disk?
No.
Just F disk?
Uh, yeah. What was it? What was the? I'm gonna have to look up the command now. Don't create, delete, or modify partitions unless you know what you're doing. I love the exclaimer. Anyways, oh, sudo. Jesus. Yep, that'll do it.
Moving on. You don't need anything.
Nope. So you may have noticed I finished Mass Effect, the Legendary.
Good Lord.
Dude, I got.
I already put some hours in.
Look, man, I did like over 100 hours easy, and I just got. I mean, I got locked in, and I think what really here's the beauty and the danger of being able to get a collection is that the beauty is that if it's a game that continues along the line, you could continue through the different versions. But the problem is that once you finish one game, you can immediately continue on to the next game.
Which means you have to.
Well, I mean, the thing is, you got to know where the story's going to go next. It's like it's basically the same thing as binging a show. You don't want to. I mean, back in the old days where you got one episode a week for, I don't know, 20 weeks out of the year, and then you take a little break, get some reruns, and then you do it again.
So what ending did you choose?
What ending did I choose?
Yeah.
None of them.
None of them. Ooh, look at you.
And that's actually an ending.
I know. Yep. You're a madman, sir. You are a madman.
I know. I did. I
think that was the authentic ending for your shipment, was the lack of an ending.
Okay,
I mean, here's still an ending.
Here's the. This was my. I understand there was this huge like, oh my god, this ending sucks. There's only 3 ways to end the game. Oh my god, screw it. Look, actually, I think there was always 3. I think, right? 2, 3.
No, there was 3 to start with.
Okay, so anyways, look, here's the deal. And I've explained this like so many times, but when you live your life, you are born. That's point 1, and you have your death, and you have your death. Point 2. Okay. Lots of random shit happens between point 1 and point 2. It's very unique, never duplicated, but it's all going to end in the exact same place. How you got there could be very different.
So you said we're predestined to end in the same place no matter the actions we take in our life?
You're going to end up dead. Sorry, Zealeus.
Oh.
But it's like, what do you want? Like, they're trying to end the game. They're trying to end the series. They're trying to give you an ending. They gave you an ending. It's not some random ass like, what?
You know what's ironic is I feel like they actually would have had less controversy if, we'll just say there's still 3 possible endings, right?
Yep.
If, depending on the decisions you made up to that final part, if the ending was basically made for you. Kind of like some of the other BioWare games have done.
That's what Heavy Rain did.
What?
It's what Heavy Rain did.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Based on the decisions you have made, it's like you have these different possible endings. I feel like there actually would have been less controversy if, like, let's just say if you're Renegade, if you're Paragon, or in between, you would have got those 3 endings. Would have actually been less controversial than there was because of the fact you had to choose yourself.
But I think that's the cherry on top. You could have been an asshole the entire game, but you could have that last change of heart. At the end of the day, any game that I put a shit ton of time in, if I feel satisfied of where the game ended, I'm good. It might just be, it could be as simple as, you're hired as a super soldier and you kill a bunch of aliens, you go to different places, somehow you survive, and then as you're going into the last bunker, kaboom, you're probably dead. Who knows?
I
That's
was I was fine with the ending. I mean, it's like, how many possible endings, I guess, did you really like? What is it people actually didn't like? Like, and I also thought it was cool because I didn't feel like any of the endings were like. So a lot of choices you made in the game were obviously Renegade or Paragon, right? But I feel
well
like
for the first two. The third one though, they snuck shit in. Like they didn't even do like the red or the blue, because red or blue basically tells you if it's going to be Paragon
yeah.
or if it's going to be Renegade. There was some that there was no color to them, and then you would like finish the conversation like, "Oh, you got 2 points of Renegade." You're like, what did I do? Well, you know what? All right, fine, yeah,
But I kind of feel like that's how the ending was. Like
yeah,
none of the endings were purely evil or good
yep.
because it's all based on what happened to the Reapers. And so based on that, I'm like, I wouldn't consider any of those endings because like you're gonna have like a whole like morality debate on like, was it good that you basically took over the Reapers to control the humanity for all of mankind? Well, some may have actually considered that
Spoilers.
a virtue of Paragon, where some people may have thought that was Renegade. And so depending on how you interpret that, gives you very different. So I was fine with the endings. I never really had an issue with them.
All right,
My
Chris.
only problem I have with the endings is it wasn't like always obvious that you're choosing an ending. Like I know some people like shot some stuff at the end that caused an ending and they had no idea that was going to happen. So I would say that'd be my one thing I would say. It was not always clear that you were actually choosing something at the end. It was a little bit of like, whoa, wait, what? Huh? What just actually happened? But that's also why I saved about every 18 seconds in the game.
The best perfect thing about Mass Effect 3 was it auto saved like a motherfucker. The first Mass Effect did not. I can't tell you how. I mean, yeah, there was like there might be like an auto save once in a blue moon, but it wasn't often. There would be like, you completed this part of the main quest, save. You do a bunch of side quests, you die on some planet. You have to go back. All those side quests are now undone because it only does the autosave off of the main quest.
I'm one of those where each of them, I probably had over 100 saves in each of the game.
Okay, so speaking of saves, this is something that kind of bugged me. If I'm saving, okay, so like usually what a lot of games do, if you're not going to name your save, it basically gives you like a slot 1, slot 2,
Yeah.
and then it gives you like a date and a time, or basically a date and the amount of hours you've put into the game. In Mass Effect and a lot of these games, when you select the save file that you've already created and you've hit save, like, would you like to overwrite the save? I say yes. The save name increments.
Yep.
Why?
I actually liked that
I
because
hate that. I'm like, I'm using the same save.
no, I thought it was cool because I could see how many times, especially in a choice-based game, made it very obvious for between every choice that I saved the game. So I thought it was kind of fun to see, like, by the end of it, I had like 184 saves. I'm like, okay, maybe I was a little bit obsessive.
All right, Zealeus, how do you get that high? Okay.
Well,
I was in the 40s.
No, because I tried to go either 100% Renegade or 100% Paragon.
Oh Jesus,
So,
I could never do that.
The wrong decision, I'd be like, well, load the game.
You're insane. I would never do. Look, this is so mind blowing. This is so fucking mind blowing. Zealeus is never like the perfectionist, the completionist, and yet he's trying to get 100% Renegade, 100% Paragon, yet he can't survive in an open world game.
Look, I didn't say there's a whole lot of logic to the way I do these things, okay?
Fine. Touche. No, so said Zealeus gave away one of the endings, which of course is you take over the Reapers. One of the other endings that you could potentially have is basically kill everything that's got synthetics in it, which means that some humans and other species will die as well, because there's no actual code to discriminate between Reapers and everybody else. There's another ending which basically makes the perfect melding of synthetics and organics, and everyone lives happily ever after. That's 3 of the endings. The 4th one is you don't do shit.
You have to worry you blow it up.
No.
I thought there was one where like you blew everything up, basically.
I think you blow it up if you do the melding of the synthetics and the humans, because your DNA basically just like your whole body just goes, and then your character juices and chemicals shoot across the galaxy. That sounds disgusting.
Everyone is now Shepherd.
Everyone's got a little shepherd in them. Oh, right. Speaking of which, I play as the male version of Shepherd, and I had a romantic encounter with Liara in the first one, Miranda in the second one, and I wrapped up with Liara one more time in the third.
Go back to the original, the OG.
Yeah.
Of course, could have been, I forget, there's one of them that will kill you.
Oh, there's an Asari that will kill you.
Yeah.
That's Samara's daughter. See, it's fresh in my mind, so I could tell you. It's like Morinth or something.
A little too much something.
Well, there's an Asari. There's like a cursed version of Asari that basically, when Asaris and other species, get together, there's like this kind of like blurring of the lines. Like you become them, they become you. You share the experience. But with these specific types of Asaris, they basically suck your soul out and leave you as a dead husk.
Basically a succubus.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Exactly. By any other name, it's a succubus. Let's see here. Ladies and gentlemen, let me do a quick little shout out here before I forget. Because I definitely want to give some love and support to a couple of the friends of the show. So, uno momentos por favors. And I will try to pull up the notes if I can remember where the hell I put them. But we're going to start off with the Indie Cluster. So without further ado. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts to challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want more information, go to indiecluster.com.
As it says in chat.
Yes. But just in case you're listening to this in audio format, it is INDIECLUSTER.com. And then the other shout out we have to give is to the one and only Dr. Ryan of Hero Chiropractic. Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore, the company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want more information, go to herochiropractic, all one word, .com. And then one quick little one more thing here, because, ladies and gentlemen, this is very near and dear to Alter Confusion's heart, so I got to do this once more. As always, ladies and gentlemen, Alter Confusion is proud to say that we are we're going to be doing a fundraising through Extra Life for our 10th straight year. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best: game. to help sick and injured children at our chosen Children's Miracle Network Hospital. The money that we raise through Extra Life will go directly to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars you raise make the biggest impact in the lives of the kids they treat. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have the capacity to donate, please go to extra-life.org and search for Ultra Confusion, and you can donate today.
Yes.
I love the fact that I get to game and raise money for kids, especially when it comes to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, because, like I've said in previous shows, I've definitely spent my share there, and my sisters have, and so have my kids. So it's an amazing hospital, and they treat the kids awesome, amazingly. So any way that I can help them out. Before I found out about Extra Life, I used to do the Penny Arcade Child's Play for Children's Healthcare Atlanta. But now it's instead of just donating off their wish list, I'm actually raising money. So definitely, if you don't have the capacity to donate to Extra Life, but you want to be a part of Extra Life, go to extra-life.org, and you can sign up, or you can find out all the information to see if it's something up your alley. Now, I know that there's a lot of people out there who want to be in on this, but they're like, well, I'm not really a video gamer per se. That's okay. Extra Life has a lot of pieces or options that are more like board games than card games. They just want you to game. That's basically it's basically people getting together to help raise funds. If you're not a super Xbox player, but you are like a crazy man when it comes to Arkham Horror, and you got a bunch of friends who are willing to stream that while you play, there you go. That's your game.
Everything in life is a game. What if you're leveling up your reading ability?
Yes.
What if you're playing with a cat? Does that count?
Maybe. I don't know. But speaking of reading, Zealeus recommended a series to me, which of course I'm now blinking out on.
Brent Wink's The Lightbringer.
Was it The Lightbringer?
Mm-hmm.
The one that's like
The Prism?
Yes, The Prism. Yes.
Yep, that's Lightbringer series.
All right, Lightbringer series. You got to check it out. I flew through the first, I think, 2 books.
Nice.
And then I had to take
pretty beefy books too. They're not like
short
books.
No. I pounded through. I pounded through like the first 2, but at the same time, like, shit, this is messed up.
Mm-hmm.
It's very complex. It's very complex.
Oh, it's definitely a series that does not hurt to read together, because there is so much that goes on in between the books. But at the same time, like, the whole volume's like large. I mean,
yeah.
It's 5 books.
I don't know, but
it's either 5 or 7, but they're all good-sized books.
Either way, it's so far it's an amazing series, and I can't complain.
That's good stuff.
I mean, I decided, just because I was also reading that other series that was kind of like Lightbringer, and I took a break from that to go to that one, and then I was like, well, I'll just. I had a couple other books that looked interesting, so I jumped onto another book, and it was creepy as fuck. It's basically about the book I just finished, because I had to finish it because I was afraid I was going to have nightmares. The book that I finished, the story basically, it centers around, you have this genius programmer who decides that they have the solution to make a true AI. And so they create this AI on a self-contained system. And the AI basically grows through like neural connections that are being made in the hard drive. Then something goes wrong.
Of course something goes wrong. What would be the fun if it didn't all go wrong?
Yeah, exactly. There it is. Brent Weeks, the Lightbringer series. How many books are there?
According to this, does it actually say?
Zealeus has been attacked. Do
One,
not
two,
fear.
three, four, five. Yep, $5.
Okay.
Now, if you like that, you should also check out his Night Angel series, which I've also read, which is also good stuff.
And
Very different though.
And just because since Zealeus has thrown out all his stuff, I've got to put out. Let's see if I could get his series here. The author's name is Will White, WIGHT, and it's his Cradle series. And he currently has. Let's see here. 9
books for the series.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
And it's good. It's good. But just out of if you were curious to know what book I just finished reading, let's see if I could find this damn thing.
Secret artists follow 1,000 paths of power, using their souls to control the forces of the natural world.
Mm-hmm. Mm. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. Damn it. Of course, I can't find. Okay, the author of the book I just read, his name is Scott Meyer, and he wrote a bunch of really crazy books called, I think it's Magic 2.0, which is hilarious. It's basically if there is a world that's hidden inside a program that if you know how to get in there, you can actually become part of it. But he wrote another.
Did you ever read any Neil Stephenson?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. The book I finished was Run Program, about what can happen when artificial intelligence gets a mind of its own.
That is the future.
Yeah. For better or for worse. And since we're naming authors, I have to, I got to do a plug for our good friend, Dan Jolly, who, of course, wrote the Grey Widow trilogy, which is amazeballs. And he also, I still need the sequel to his next book, which is The Storm, which is a messed up book, but it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. I love reading. But
it makes the soul happy.
Yes.
I would agree, sir.
But if you're looking for some fun sci-fi fantasy novels, hit up Zealeus or I, and we will try to help you out.
Oh, I have my full bookshelf full of books of different types. It could be romance, it could be bromance, it could be no romance, it could be just action with no development and just lots of shit going on. I have it all.
You could it. So you got some Terry Brooks.
Oh, you mean like 4,000 pages of going through the trees?
4,040 pages to describe the intricate wood pattern in this table that has no relevance to the story whatsoever. Let me tell you the story about this single grain that's going to go here. There's some action, but don't worry about it because if you slide your hand across, you're going to get a splinter, but don't slide your hand across because you're going to get a splinter, so you don't want to do the splinter. But then there's this rosy smell in the air, just like, dear God, dude, just go somewhere.
So I'll say in a random tangent is that was a really big, for years, actually knock against basically the high fantasy series.
Mm-hmm.
It was basically authors, and believe me, that's not the only author who did this.
Oh, no.
Was they would become basically so full of themselves, it seemed like, where they thought they're basically like Tolkien 2.0. And I will say the one thing that I think that the whole big young adult / youth movement of books did is it kind of forced and realized that like readers don't want to read, to your point, reading 40 pages about a splinter on a tree. They kind of want to get straight to the point. So I think in a way, fantasy series have gone a little bit back more towards, you still have the high fantasy stuff, but it's a little bit more to the point, right?
Right, yeah.
It's more let's actually have good pacing. I mean, that's probably the best way of putting it is the pacing is much better now than I think it was years ago. In these, you still, I mean, go read some Brenton Weeks. He's got really cool, crazy stuff. You have Brandon Sanderson. You have these authors who are phenomenal authors, but I think the pacing is so much better than it was 20 or 30 years in these books.
Agreed.
Because they're not just going on name recognition alone. You know, it used to be Terry Brooks was a name, so people read Terry Brooks because that was like a known name in the fantasy series. Because there weren't really a whole lot of options when we were growing up. I think about it, it's like Dragonlance. You had Gamel. You had
Wheel of Time.
What?
Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time. You had Magician
Discworld.
It was the Magician series books where it's the Rift War saga.
Yeah, Discworld.
Yeah. So, I mean, you had a few of the really big series, but you didn't really have a whole lot. Whereas now you have so many choices where if somebody gets bored after the first book, they're just going to move on to something else.
Agreed.
So I do like that, you know, the fantasy series, you kind of read it. It's like, is this young adult? And then you read it, it's like, oh, no, this is not young adult.
Yeah.
But I like that books now, it seems like in the fantasy, they're not just spending, it's like the actual of an editor, basically, who's like, yeah, you need to pare some of this shit down.
I'm just going to do a quick couple of shout outs real quick to authors that I like, and I desperately need them to write more shit. The first one, of course, is Louis Pasteur III, the Saga of Ucamog, which is a sword, by the way. I actually got hit in the head by Ucamog and somehow survived. Then also there's Derek A. Kamal, who wrote this book is confusing. Okay, so Derek Kamal wrote a book called Homes, and it's based on this basically pencil and paper RPG that he created. But the pencil and paper RPG he created is based off the book Homes. So it's kind of like this weird cyclical, like there is no beginning, there's no end. It's one and the same, but it isn't. I'm like, oh my God.
I'm so confused already.
Yes. So Dan Jolly, of course. And then let's do one more shout out. Let's go. Let's go with the newly made mama. That is, of course, Kendra Souter and her miniseries that I own. I think her and Santiago are currently making the second book in in the Zombified series. The first one is the Headhunter. And John G. Hartness is the other author that we ran into a lot during when we used to be able to do conventions. Damn it. I'm okay. Anyways, so ladies and gentlemen, I believe we've reached the end of our show. But before we go, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure giving you everything come over our heads. I'm Alice, and of course, our hearts will be back next Thursday for another Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.